know what else? What I would like for a group of men to do is the one most powerful thing that has been done in bigger cities, and not in Texas, but other states, is when the kids come to school, that first day of school in the morning, 2 rows of men to say high five them in suits. Do you know that sends a powerful message that the kids going into school? One that's never been done here in this area. It hasn't been done in Texas, I don't think. But that's another powerful message of just wow. You know, just wow. 2 rows of men, just as the kids are all walking in, high five, high five, high five. It's small, it's very small, but it's powerful.
Hey, could I say, we at some point we have to look at the science of it all. And so, and I'm like you, I'm more action oriented. Right. You know, I don't like to waste a lot of time. But in the 1950s, when research was conducted to find the major influences that impacted children in their development, what they found was the top 2 things was parenting and religion. Right. When a similar study was conducted in the 80s, they found that thing had transitioned, and that parenting and religion no longer played major influences on the development of children, but that it had been replaced by entertainment and the peer group. Right. So now I'm willing to guarantee that if a similar research was conducted today, that those 2 factors will remain consistent, and that it would still be entertainment and the peer group. So what does that mean? That means that, like Chicago said, them brothers in hip hop and music, as they're giving out these images, and the children are accepting the images into their brain based on experiences that they're having in the community, and they're discussing it with children, then they're deriving at, you know, their conclusions about reality from a childlike perspective. Right. So what we have to do is, like Sister Phyllis said, we got to meet them where they are, not become children in our manifestation or our representation, but understand the way that they're receiving information. And then we have to develop a larger influence on individuals that control the information that is going into their brain. But this is our problem as men. And I was having a conversation with a young man about 20 years old, and as I listened to that brother, he was telling me what he was going through, understanding that I have children that are in their 20s. I told that young man, I said, I'm sorry. I said, I apologize. Excuse me. I said, I apologize for all men along my age group. I said, because we have failed y'all. You know what I'm saying? We have failed to set proper examples for y'all. We can't expect these children, especially these young boys, to respect us when they see us laying down. They're going to respect the strong man in the environment. They're going to respect the successful man in the environment. So we can't expect these little boys to have no level of respect for us. I don't care how sharp you dress. But if you laying down in your environment and you ain't doing everything in your power in order to try to create an environment for them to become the type of men that they imagine that they want to be, then they're not going to respect us. And the man will never be able to stand up, because we got to respect that society is constructed in a way, from the educational system to the judicial system to the legal system. We got to the system of politics that control the country. We got to respect that it was constructed in order to keep us oppressed. And until we develop the courage to say we're going to have a greater influence on things such as our education, and we're going to put our money together in order to create educational systems that are going to allow our children to evolve into that which will condition them and develop in them the ability to be the men that we want, we can't expect that it's going to happen. We can't expect that it's going to happen at all. So what we have to be able to do is we have to be able, because we got to realize, you send them and we put them into an educational system, and then the education give them the information and the construct for the way that they perceive and interpret information, and then they come back and they look at us and they say, well, hell, if I'm supposed to be successful and you broke, then what am I learning when I go to school? And then they come into the environment, they say, now you don't went to school and received 15,000 hours worth of formal education from kindergarten to the 12th grade, and all you do is work in the warehouse. How you want them to respect us? You see what I'm saying? Because we ain't did anything in the community in order to be respected. I'm talking to men right now, because women have done their part, right? You right. It's a timely question to ask. When are men gonna step up so that way the woman can relinquish the reins? But we got to be wanting to go take them. We don't want to do nothing. We want to sit around and we want to pray away our problems, and we want to give our children to the educational system and expect the educational system to create the type of people that our community needs. We want to pray away and give away our problems instead of accepting responsibility for our role. I'm talking to men right now. Stop being so doggone sorry. sorry. You see what I'm saying? Stop looking for people to come and rescue us out of our condition. I thank Allah for the condition that we find ourselves in. It gives us an opportunity to have something to strive towards. Let's take the science and let's apply scientific method to creating a solution for our condition. And let's go open up schools so that way we can put our children in an environment that we control. So when I'm high-fiving you, I'm high-fiving you. I'm hitting you on your hand today. But if this woman tell me you was in here showing out, I'm going to hit you on your behind when I come back in here. We ain't going to have that foolishness out of you in this environment. That's why I show y'all my son. My son, and I'm grateful to his mother because I had my son with me since he was 8 years old, right? And when he was 8 years old, 2 men in the house, and I wasn't divinely guided to have a whole bunch of religion with me. I told him, I said, look here, man, you know what I'm saying? I work and I make the money to keep the lights on. Your job is to go to school and get good grades. I ain't finna be coming in there running my mouth and doing all of that. That's your responsibility. You see what I'm saying? That's what you gotta go do. And he did it. He went and he did his part. But he did his part based on him seeing me do my part. Right. You gotta do your part. And if you don't do your part, you can't expect these young men to grow up and have no respect for us, no level of respect for us. So I would like to think that the man respect me. Only thing that I'm gonna be able to use to determine that is based on where his life go from this point forward. But he not gonna be able to say, oh, my daddy this or my daddy. You ain't gonna be able to say that. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to say, I'm sorry as hell and I ain't do what I had to do as a man. You know what I'm saying? But I think, me personally, I think when we get to that place in our life where we accept responsibility for our failures and stop blaming people for the condition that we find ourselves in. Yeah, our condition do have a lot to do with it, and we can't disregard the fact that we come from a tough circumstance. But today we do not have the ability to utilize that as an excuse. We have too much science and too many good examples today of what we should do in order to create a better environment for ourselves. And until we are willing to do that, nothing is going to change. We're going to have the same conversation again next year this time because men are going to continue to stay and remain complacent, and our woman is going to remain disgruntled. So if you want to find your where we at, we producing them, we churning them things out. Visit your local mosque or study group under the teeth of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, because ain't nothing else laying down. Hey, scared ain't never been produced this way.
Okay, I got a question for us women. You ready?
Oh Lord. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Because we play a part in, and he's talking about they were talking about the rappers and all that, and I want to leave that over there because there's another part of that blame. And because I don't do it, and I can't figure it out either. I can't buy a $300 purse. Oh. I don't understand giving these three top people my money for a purse, and they don't give my neighborhood nothing. And I don't understand. So when we pay all this money for these purses, the big purses, and all kids know how much these purses are because we tell them.
Oh yeah, you gotta flash it. Yeah.
We tell them. You tell them that I paid this for this, this for that, and then we tell them, how much we pay for certain things that we just got to have. I think that also influences your boys and your girls too, right? Because you find little kids, the little girls. I need that kind of purse. Boys, okay, she got that kind of this, she got that. Then I want the jewelry.
I gotta have the Jordans. I gotta have the shirts.
I gotta have this. I gotta have that. So I think as women, rappers, yes, I see that too. But they don't have to go see the rapper. Some of them could just be at home.
That's right.
And see the same thing. Like I said, the purses, the $300 purses made by people who have never written me to give me any scholarship money for kids. Have they ever written you?
No, they've never given me.
See, these, but we get them money for a purse.
Yeah.
And I don't see them sliding scholarships my way.
Well, me personally, you see what I got on me. This is I don't do the flashy purses. Yeah, I don't do the
there you go.
The I gotta have this Michael Kors or
I'm glad I didn't say those names. But you can say that. I can't say it, but yeah.
Certain names, because and that's just the way that I grew up.
Right.
I never saw it necessary.
There you go.
And if it wasn't a necessity, it just wasn't in the house. But I do see it culturally that, and you have, since the female is the head of the house or has placed herself as the head of the house, she's working and she's struggling to get these things. You getting your son a $250 pair of Jordans, and you're working, a 9 to 5 where you're not making six figures. So this is, something you got to take out from another part, or you're waiting till income taxes or something like that comes in. So that is on our part, culturally, to put into or instill in ourselves and our children that these things are not necessary. These things are, a luxury if you want to have it, but at the same time, is that important?
Right.
You know, I would say, you know, in my household, my mother always worked and she put clothes on our back, food on the table. When we stepped out, you know, the child always looked better than the mother.
Yes.
But you have it where it's reversed now, where you see these mothers.
Oh yeah.
They have their purses and their high heels and their hair is done and everything's. And you look at the kid and the kid got on, you know, shoes that don't fit and you know shirts that don't fit. It's kind of a backwards road now. So that's a whole nother subject.
but you know that also, but in the way it is, but it's the same because you know that kid, he's gonna grow up to do what she did.
It's the same
to
deal.
his. That's right. You know what I mean? Like, except for he, the boy, he's not gonna do the purse thing, but he's gonna have the $200 shoes. You know the watches. He's gonna have those things and do to his kids what was done to him because that's all he knows. You see what I mean? So it's still the same subject. Same topic, but I just left the wrappers over there and brought it to the house right here. You know that, and just like the kids who see the fighting in their house, if no man steps in to teach that boy that this is not good, and he know, okay, well, this is what happened in my house for 18 years of my life. Right. So that's all he knows until another man steps in to say, let me let you know a couple of things. This is not how it's supposed to go. Yeah.
I want to touch on that because we have been talking about, you know, basically influencing the young man.
Yeah.
But, you know, you have to influence the young girls also.
Yes.
Because the girls grow up seeing this and they don't know what a real man looks like.
That's right.
So they expect this, you know. I grew up, my mother was in an abusive relationship. And, you know, growing up, when she came out of it and, you know, I saw that there was something better, luckily. Right. But when I came into a relationship with my husband, we had a lot of problems early on because I was expecting it, you know?
Okay, right.
And it wasn't like I was expecting it like you're gonna, you know, it was like, I wish you would. You know? So there was a lot of resistance there. And that, you know, and I think that it's a lot deeper than just, you know, influencing young boys. You gotta get to the girls too. You gotta let them know that there are men out there.
That's right.
You know, there are men out there. There are willing to stand up and willing to take the reins.
willing to die for you. Yes. I was in DC at the Museum of the African American Museum of Culture and History, and I was at an exhibit and I was watching a presentation from the 1995 Million Man March, and Representative John Lewis was speaking. And then these two older women came and stood beside me, and she said, "Do you know who that is?" I guess I looked kind of young to her because she didn't expect me to know who John Lewis was. And I said, "Oh, that's John Lewis." And she said that's the same speech. And I was like, yes, ma'am, that's the address from the Million Man March. She said, no, that's the same words he uttered at the 65 March, right? And I said, it's unfortunate it shouldn't be like that. Well, we shared some words, and after we shared the words, she told me, and I feel like she missioned me a little bit, because she was like, she said, you need to go speak to children. And so I said, well, I do kind of, I do, but I deal more so with young men, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't really believe that I can teach a woman. You know what I'm saying? I know that that woman need a woman to teach her, right? But this is what the woman said. She said, but our little girls need to know. She said, you can't imagine. Now, this woman, like 75 years old, she said, you can't imagine what it's like for a woman to not have a man in her life. Man, that lady brought me to tears when she was in there, when she shared that with me, because it was in that moment that I realized that it ain't about teaching them. It's about being able to model a behavior so that woman can know she got a man in her life that's strong enough, that's willing to risk everything for her so that way she can feel free to do what she need to do. You know what I'm saying? Because she's doing, like you said, when you open up Sister Phyllis, she's sacrificing her body to her oppressor to be able to keep her man safe. And she's doing that same thing today, mortgaging her virtue to be able to create opportunities for a sorry, no good man who wouldn't do the same thing in return. And so the least we could do is sacrifice our self-concept of what we want or what we imagine we should have in order to be able to create an environment so our woman can be protected and free and safe. And so if you don't know where they at, I'm going to say again, you hear me giving all these plugs, Mohammed's Mars, the Nation of Islam under the leadership of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, because we ain't scared. We ain't scared to lay it out for our women. And I'm going to say this to anybody who mess with any of these that I know, boy, you walking in a dangerous path. Because I don't give a damn about prison. I don't care about what happened next. Man, leave our women alone. And if you're in our community and you trying to do something wrong to these girls, boy, hey, don't let me find out about you, boy. I'm looking for you.
Now, you know what I'm going to say is this conversation we're having here needs to be at your next meeting, needs to be at your next meeting and your next meeting, because things continue to happen because we talk about it once and then we don't talk about it no more. Was it 2 weeks ago? I think it was 2 weeks ago. Yes. No, it was last week, wasn't it? The girl from ARC. Well, I think it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. It was a girl who came on the show, and she came to talk about ARC. I work with ARC. ARC is about human trafficking. That's what they deal with. So we're talking on the show, and she's in her early 20s, and we just talking. And bam, you know what she hit us with? She was sex trafficked in Killeen.
Wow.
Now hold it, listen to me. She's right now in her early 20s. She was sex trafficked at the age of 10. Yeah, 10. She was trafficked at 10. She went to school every day. You hear me? She went to school, every day, and was trafficked at night in Killeen. She got arrested. The police picked her up, and guess what they picked her up as? Child prostitute. Right. They didn't never ask the root of the issue. Then they let her go.
Wow.
Thank you. Now, so this didn't happen a few, 20 years ago. This was, you figure, just a couple of years ago. She ended up being, her mother is known in Killeen from her lifestyle, drugs, prostitution, all that, at home. So when the girl actually fell in love with this guy, you know what I mean? Because he took care of her. She didn't know that this was all wrong. Between the ages of 11 and she wasn't grown yet, she had 2 kids. She gave birth to 2 kids. She doesn't have them now because, she was young. But she went through all of that. She even got taken away and put in foster care. Mother's still here. Mother's still there. Everything. But she got put in foster care. When she got out of foster care, where did she go back to? That guy on the street. So finally, she got old enough to take care of herself and pull herself out. My thing is that we were all in Killeen when this happened. You see what I mean? We were right here. So this didn't happen in Temple, Belton, Austin. I know it happened right here in our community. So my thing is, how many other kids are going through it today that we see and don't know?
That's right.
Wow.
I know.
That's a crazy thought to have. Yes, ma'am.
Because she told me the school she went to. I got scared. Because I'm thinking I might have seen her myself. I might have seen her one day, and she could have gave me a look, and I didn't catch it. My thing is, those kids could have gave us a look, any of us, a look, that look, and we ignored that look.
Right.
Or, to me, when I see a kid in school with their head down, I'll say anything to raise their head. I will. I will tell them the biggest lie in the world. What I mean is this. I'm going to say, those shoes are nice. Where'd you get those shoes from? Okay, now you got to look up to me to tell me about those shoes. I'm going to say, well, you did a good job. Do you think you can find some of my size? So we're having a whole conversation about what probably is the ugliest shoes in life, but I wanted to bring that head up and change the mindset for a minute of saying, I like those shoes. Well, I like that shirt. Where'd you get, who did your hair? Who did this? And I do it to boys and girls because we need to always raise when they're walking with their head down, my firm belief is raise it up. But to her, I'm like, how many people did she meet? How many of us missed her? This young girl.
My question is, how many grown men around town
Thank you.
were associated in this mix? You get what I'm saying?
Quite a few.
And there's a bigger problem there. And she should, you picked her up, then they should have picked her up and say, okay, who's who's doing so and so and so, and picked all of them up.
No, the police only picked her up, and like she said, never asked her the root of what she was doing and how it happened. She's got picked up as a child prostitute. So today, right now, with what we're talking about, how many kids are we missing? Boys and girls.
Wow.
Yep, 70% of all women have experienced rape, molestation, or abuse. And I come from an environment where my
you're nothing like, oh my God.
I try to be careful what I say, because I don't want to pull nobody into where I find myself at in my development, because I don't mind talking about some things. But I have a direct experience with molestation, rape, and abuse, and so I look at the woman differently as a result of it. But ain't none of us let him who is without sin cast the first stone. But what I will say is that for us as men, when we become aware that that's going on, we shouldn't be relying on the Chief Young and those that have to go try to find them individuals who participate in that type of behavior. You see what I'm saying? They should be held accountable by us. You see what I'm saying? As men in our community, those men, because we got to be able to remove the craving for it, remove the urge. It's supply and demand. We got to remove the demand so that way the supply can get treated correctly, because these are hard problems that we're going to have to face. But no one wants to really sit down and have a hard conversation about what the solution is, because the solution requires for you to have to make a sacrifice. And so what we need to be able to do is, without fear, talk about what the solution going to be. And man, look, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And if I catch it, when that come to our ears, you done robbed a little 10-year-old girl of her virtue. We need to deliver you to Chief Young and let them go ahead and process you. But we need to let you, you know what I'm saying, spend some time with you first before you go do that.
Now guess what? She told me. She told us the entire area she worked. She even goes to the church now in that same area.
Yeah.
Today, she goes to that church in the same area to which that's still going on.
Hey, if y'all want to get in touch with us so we can give y'all some strength, hey, ask Miss Phyllis for my number. I ain't gonna give it out on the air. You know what I'm saying? But if you ready to stop being a scary man, call Miss Phyllis. Miss Phyllis, give them your number, and so to the radio station so they know how to get in contact with you. And then y'all say the brother who was talking about not putting up with nobody foolishness no more in the community, and then she'll direct y'all to me.
What I am gonna do, because with the trafficking, because boys and girls are trafficked. Boys are trafficked. And that means there's a missing man in the community also. But what I'm going to do is host a training, so we know what we're looking for. Because do you know, out of all the kids taken in Texas, 80% have a direct tie to Bell County.
That's crazy.
Has a tie to, not that they might have lived here, but through their travel, they have a tie to Bell County.
And that's either coming here through that channel of prostitution and trafficking, or being removed from here.
Yeah. So while we talking about just doing this, saving when the man gonna stand up, to me, still same thing. Because you know what, it takes, I'll say more so men who are to rescue those kids than women.
That's right.
We're the nurturing, men are the go-getters.
That's right.
So when they gonna go get them?
That's right.
You see what I'm asking about? So we can nurture these boys and girls when they come back, because that's what we are. When the men gonna go get them?
When we stop being afraid. And so you have to ask yourself, why do I feel this fear about standing up? And if you can be real with yourself as a man and say, the reason why I'm not standing up is because I am afraid, you have taken the most courageous step in your life, acknowledging the fact that you are afraid. But you don't have nothing to be afraid of, brother. All you got to do is acknowledge it, and let's move past it by, like Miss Phyllis saying, training how to acknowledge it, recognize it, and then what to do when you're confronted with it. And we can do that together as a family.
Because like I said, it's a lot of things we need to fix. You know, and true enough, you might say, okay, we're going to take this portion. You guys, y'all take that portion. You guys take that part, because everybody should not do the same thing together. We'll be crazy. Right. But if everybody take their part, that's right, we can fix and change things.
That's right.
Because women, we can get together. Women can actually get together, and we can work together and forget all that stuff. Men come in the door as Reverend so-and-so. That should not matter when you walk in the door to serve and help the community. Men come in as president. Who cares? You president of what? I don't care. To me, as long as you all sitting down with a common goal of moving forward, the title should be left outside the door. The title should be outside in your car or your truck or whatever. That's where your title should go when you come in to do the work. Because when you come in and do the work and bring your title, you just alienated majority of everybody that's going to talk to you. And you've changed the whole thing, because now I gotta remember. Let me see. Yo, yeah, right. He Reverend so and so. He's President so and so. Now I gotta talk differently because I want you to work with us, but I also don't want to alienate you. So now I'm playing a game. So the meeting no longer is a meeting. It's a game because you're gonna say something to offend him. He gonna say something to offend him, and now you got men that you got the whole meeting has changed. The reason why you're there to help the community just died.
Right.
Because you couldn't get it together.
That's right.
So we need to quit all that. We need to come together. We need to get our men, y'all need to get together. And I'm gonna ask another. Wait a minute, hold on. I got one question before we leave. All right. He said, "Oh my God, no, she don't." Your son is like, "No, she does not have a question." I don't even want. You don't have to answer. I'm gonna. You don't have to answer.
Make him answer.
Make him answer it. Yeah. Okay. You know what? A little while ago, men needed to have a health fair. Okay. So I kept talking to a few men. Men, y'all need to have a health fair. Men, y'all need to have a health fair. And guess what? They wouldn't get together. So I sat back and I realized why they wouldn't get together. That's because the black female didn't tell them they needed to get together. So I set up a meeting of the same black men I was talking to. I set up the meeting to hold a black men's health fair. I got them rolling, then I left. So why they couldn't do it? Why did the women have to do it? Because that's our job. What do you think?
But really, this whole time I've been sitting back taking notes, listening to everything y'all said, right? So as he said, woman's the nurturer. She's like, what I'm thinking is the men needed guidance.
Right.
Showing them where that they really needed to go. So it took a strong woman to bring together men since we didn't know where to go initially. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. I like that. I like that. Okay, Chicago, what you think? All right, when men needed to have a health fair, and I knew it.
Okay.
But when I asked each one of these men to could they get together and get it done, I got that look. But I sat back and realized it didn't work. So I called them all together and said, listen, we are gonna have a men's health fair. Yeah, we are. They each took their positions of what they knew best, and they started doing it, and I left. I didn't come back. But why did I have to do that in the first place?
It goes back to knowing your place and knowing roles. Women are, I won't say a role. Women are, excuse me, brother. Women are phenomenal at organizing and getting people together. That's what I've seen in my 26 years of living. Happy birthday to me. You know?
That's right. Yes, yeah. I need to whoop you.
Thank you, brother. But but in my 26 years of living, I realized that women are phenomenal at organizing and putting things, together so that the men can, talk about it and get a plan of action and execute the plan of action. So I use you as an example. When we need something done, we get Miss Phyllis, to get the brothers together, to get out that men's group that we had over there at Glendora. You put that together for the student minister, Robert Mohammed, know. So I say that to say that women are phenomenal when it comes to organizing, and it should be women organize, men, sit down, get a plan of action and execute the plan. But that that answers your question.
So you mean
I would say it's because you're a bully, Miss Phyllis. You just be bullying people. You don't have to do that stuff, Miss Phyllis. You was a bully, and you just come through and just make people do stuff.
Can you?
No, she don't say can you. She'll say what you got going on. Did you mind if I need a little help? No, she'll say that this is what you well do, and you blah, blah, blah. Roger that. Yes, ma'am. I'll be there. Okay, you're a bully, Miss Phyllis.
You know what? That's because black men have put me in this position to do what I do.
And I'm grateful.
So you wait a minute. You mean that's why last year the men didn't have the health fair? Because I assumed that when they did it year before last, they was going to get together and do it again last year, and they didn't.
I told you if you let the reins go, that the stagecoach gonna go off the path. You gotta hold on to the reins.
Okay, so next week I'm gonna call a bunch of men together, and y'all gonna do this health fair in June, because June is Men's Health Month.
Oh wow!
Right. Y'all heard me, right?
Okay. June is Men's Health Month.
Yes,
June is Men's Health Month.
You know that scary, nervous thing that men have to do, like take care of the health.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you what, Miss Phyllis, look here. Hey, and for all y'all listeners, especially the ones that's over 40, right? Hey, look here, man. When you talk about men and health, and then we start thinking about prostate examinations. Hey, come on, man. Ain't nobody trying to be. Hey, look here, man. Hey. As far as a man go, look here, man. I'm okay, and then when I leave, I'm gonna leave. But what you ain't finna be be doing is rubbing all over me like that, man. I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with it.
Y'all gonna have a health fair.
Okay.
We're gonna work together to make sure they get this done, right?
Oh yeah.
See, okay, that's done now. Y'all through.
All right.
Men's health fair, June.
Just let us know our role, and we'll be there.
Okay.
Let us know the role.
It's gonna need a lot of
Organize it.
I can do that.
Hey, you'll need one less pair because I'm straight. hey, my health fair is how to eat to live by the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. I'm straight, and when I leave out here, I'm gone.
But you know what? No, that ain't it. That ain't it. That's not it.
I know. Just okay,
I know it.
You win.
So y'all, you win. So y'all got to put June in your. Don't think you left out of this. Because how old are you?
18.
See, you are in that invincible age.
Mm-hmm.
You know when you all think y'all are invincible? Somebody say diabetes, you go, so I'm not old enough for that. Somebody say high blood pressure, I'm not old enough for that. You know, y'all are invincible. Because y'all don't get those things. Psych, yes I do. But anyway, you all do get those things. So you're in an invincible age. And y'all are, because y'all do the daredevil stuff. Y'all do the stuff that you pay for later.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the things you did when you were younger, your dad is paying for it now because he did it.
That's right.
So you're in the, you left the invincible age. No, you're still in it. 26? Yeah, you're still in it. Y'all don't leave it till 30.
I think I'm old.
I don't know.
Wow.
25, I was like, you know, when I turned 26, it was like, oh, it's over.
You there.
Hey, wait till you get 40. Hey, the way your knees act and the way your body responds when you wake up in the morning. Lord have mercy.
I won't say my age then because I got all y'all good.
Hey, we turned 18 yesterday. hey, 29 for the 37th time.
And I got a lot of I got like 200-300 kids, I think. I do. I adopt all children. Yeah, everybody. I just, it's me. It's my thing. I can nurture all of y'all at one time. But anyway, I want to thank my guests for coming on this morning. I think we opened up some information. We opened up lines that we know we need to keep those lines open. We need to keep talking about it because the more we talk about it, the better things become. The least we talk about it, the worse it becomes. So the choice becomes ours. And I want to thank everyone for listening to KISS Community Connections 103.1 KISS FM. This is not the last time we will discuss this. This is going to be an ongoing discussion like a couple of others I'm having. But I want you to always remember, you cannot lead a positive life with a negative mind. We'll talk to you next Sunday. Bye now.